Well, actually, I would like to focus on the question, how can European CSR policies reinforce the link between CSR and competitiveness? And this is a challenge because CSR is a very foggy term. A lot of things can be understood by CSR, as you all know. And competitiveness, again, is a very fuzzy thing. So some people think when they have access to specific resources, human resources, skilled workers, motivated staff, this is a factor of competitiveness. Others think it's about technologies, and others think it's about access to markets. So we tried to make this concrete, and we worked for 2 years on a study on behalf of DG Enterprise on 3 industrial sectors, because we wanted to know if these links between CSR and competitiveness are general links or they are sector specific. So we worked on 3 sectors. We accompanied certain initiatives which were co-funded by DG Enterprise. These initiatives tried to improve these links. We accompanied them, and we conducted a series of expert interviews with trade unions, but not a lot, but with business associations all across Europe. So all of these experts who are experts in this specific sector, we asked them. And we also conducted a huge analysis of sector-specific studies, reports, and literature. So first sector we assessed was chemical industry. And we found out that the forces of competition in chemical industry are about innovation. This is one part where European chemical industry wants to be a leader. It's about having access to certain resources, energy or basic resources. And it's about society being a little bit afraid of these things chemical industry does. So this goes back to Seveso and Bhopal. And if you just remember what happened in Hungary with this red sludge. So people are a little bit afraid of what happens in this. So the license to operate, to keep this license to operate, this is a challenge for the chemical industry. So linking CSR to these forces of competition means public policies promoting innovation on the one hand, means public policies supporting and the implementation of health and safety standards and ensuring these high eco-efficiencies. So it's rather easy to link CSR and competitiveness when you go through eco-innovation. The second sector we had a look at was the construction sector. The situation is totally different. Construction sector is dominated by small and medium-sized enterprises, and it's a local competition. So the small company outside on the left hand competes with a small company outside on the right hand. This is the main business. There are some companies acting outside Europe as well, but the main competition is in a European phenomenon. And the forces of competition is to balance an enormous pressure for low costs on the one hand and societal demands on the other hand, which are taken for granted. So it's taken for granted from the general public that companies try to fight against corruption. So this is just taken for granted. Corruption is something obviously bad, so people expect that companies are not just engaged in corruption. Or, for example, health and safety standards, so that workers don't fall off the roofs. This is taken for granted. On the other hand, you have a high pressure for low production costs. So everything in the construction sector depends on the future user of the building and the property developer. These are the two ones that mainly decide if CSR is implemented or not. If they don't care for CSR, if they just focus on low production costs, then you will not find CSR in a specific construction site. If they care for it, then you find it. CSR policies in this context means lead by example in public procurement processes. So in this case, the public sector has to walk the talk. Third sector we had a look at was the textile sector. There again we have a totally different situation. Textile sector for the last 15 years is under strong pressure by imports from Asia and tries to survive by going into 2 market niches. On the one hand, industrial textiles, which are high-tech textiles, or high-end fashion products. In this area, linking CSR and competitiveness is about innovation on the one hand, when it comes for industrial textiles, and on the other hand, ensuring credibility. So when you have a high brand, a top brand label, which includes eco or socio, so having CSR textiles, then you need to ensure credibility, that you really trust into this label. And this is what CSR policies should be about. Let me summarize this. when we would give a recommendation for future European policies to reinforce CSR and competitiveness, this would be make it sector specific.
Okay, thank you, André. Also, to finalizing with the proposal for European policy, I think it's very interesting what you found in your study, that precisely there is no one-size-fits-all solution, and not only differs it among SMEs as such, but also among sectors. Now I'd like to hand over to our last speaker, Susanna Galli, CSR manager from Novamont, and can I just ask you to speak a bit slower so the interpreters can understand? This counts for all speakers. Thank you.
Okay.